So for today's video, we are going to be talking about Dembele and when we could expect to see this player return back onto the pitch and play for FC Barcelona. And then later in the video, we're also going to be talking about Frenkie de Jong and his rise in the, I would say, the importance for Xavi Hernandez. And then at the end, we will be talking about Lionel Messi and where he could be going. So this is going to be a very compact video. There's a lot to discuss. And so if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. Welcome to this Barcelona family. And so let's get to it and let's talk about Dembele. Because look, this player, right, like this right winger that we have, he is so missed, right? And he is also so needed, and Xavi Hernandez does know this. Like I always think about, like, okay, if Barcelona beat Real Madrid 1-0 at the Bernabeu, can you imagine what Barcelona could have done if Dembele was actually there? We probably could have scored 2 goals or maybe even 3 goals because of his take-on abilities. So it was like a missed opportunity, and I know this for a fact. And again, Xavi Hernandez knows this. Dembele just makes Barcelona much more superior, much better. And so it does say here, according to Ferran Martinez, Dembele is recovering well and will start group training next week. He may return for the game against Athletic Bilbao on the 12th of March. And so this is huge news, and it's great news because he will be in time for the Clasico, which will be in La Liga. It's not going to be the Copa del Rey, and he is also, of course, going to be in time for the second leg against Real Madrid. And I think that by that time, we will be much more powerful. We will bring the Camp Nou a show with Dembele returning, Pedri maybe returning, Christensen also returning. So I cannot wait. The fact that this player will come back as soon as we do hit those 2 games against Real Madrid, because again, we're playing Real Madrid like 3 times within these next 20 to 25 days. I can't emphasize it enough. It's huge news. I know that Xavi is probably very happy because right now, like in terms of our options on the right side, Rafinha is just not it. Like in his current form, he's really just not it. He must improve. I want Rafinha to improve. This player only makes me miss Dembele even more because the fact that Rafinha cannot even do a accurate cross to save his life, it just boggles my mind. And his 1v1s is so inferior to Dembele's 1v1s. And so hopefully he does get better within these next 1 to 2 weeks before Dembele does return, because we want Rafinha to succeed. And so look, we have great news with Dembele returning, and I hope that this is going to be his last injury and for a very long time, because I know that eventually he will get injured, but we want him to get injured probably like once every 2 years and just really make a case on why he should be renewing with FC Barcelona, because I want this player to renew. I want this player to be here for about 4 to 5 more years, because this club knows that without Dembele, Barcelona becomes a team that just finds minimal solutions when they do try to attack. So speaking about important players, I also want to move on towards Frenkie de Jong. And a report came out coming from Tony Juan Marti, and he has stated that Frenkie de Jong has become a very important key player, and he's considered a top 5 player in the team. Everyone at the club agrees he is gaining power in the dressing room, and in addition, Frenkie de Jong is also happier with the new atmosphere in the dressing room. So there's a reason why I wanted to bring this up, because yesterday, right, or like 2 days ago, depending on where you're from, I did say that Frenkie de Jong was my favorite player, and for a very big reason. It's because this player is just everywhere on the pitch. He supports the defense and he also supports the attack. And I know that there are other players out there that did perform at a very high level, but Frenkie he really does stand out, because what I saw on that game was the Frenkie de Jong of Ajax. We saw him operate in a double pivot, doing a lot of defensive work, trying to cover for Ronald Araujo every time he tried to defend Vinicius. Frenkie de Jong was there to like just take care of his spot in case Vinicius were to get past him. And you can see an example here. Vinicius receives the ball, he's on a 1v1 with Araujo, and then Frenkie de Jong follows, tracks back, and is always ready for Araujo potentially failing against Vinicius, which never did happen, by the way. But the fact that Frenkie de Jong was there for the extra coverage is just again another reason on why Barcelona were able to really make Real Madrid not dangerous. There's a reason why there is 0 shots on target for Real Madrid against FC Barcelona. It is because of their great defensive work and what Frenkie de Jong has done. And another thing that this does is that because Vinicius knew that he was being covered, and he knew that if he were to go into the center with the ball to get away from Araujo, Frenkie de Jong was going to be there. So what he did was to go out wide to try to go around Araujo, but that was bait, because Xavi knew that Araujo was good enough to take care of Vinicius in wide areas, which is why we saw Vinicius lose so many balls. And so they prevented Vinicius from going in and forced him to go out wide thanks to Frenkie de Jong. And there were times where we did see one of the players on the left side of Real Madrid try to go inside with Frenkie de Jong trying to defend those inside spaces, and then those are also chances where Frenkie can receive the ball, which is the reason why again I'm showing you guys these pictures, because there were many times where Frenkie successfully took the ball away and then he went on to the attack, which is going to lead us towards what Frenkie de Jong has done in the attack. And we can see another example here. Frenkie de Jong runs into space, Araujo passes it towards Rafinha. Rafinha is looking for a open man, and Frenkie de Jong was there, and you can see just how fast he was running. And then Frenkie de Jong receives the ball, and then he passes it towards Gavi, and then Gavi went on to make a potential goal scoring opportunity, but thanks to Frenkie de Jong, because of his ability to carry the ball, it exposed Real Madrid. And this type of Frenkie, like that energetic one, the one that likes to make himself as an open man, it did scare Real Madrid. And so this is the Frenkie that Real Madrid feared a lot, because it also took Cruz out from his position. And so when you see Frenkie de Jong being this supportive, and then you add his ability of being reliable on the ball and never losing the ball, you get a true monster. There's a reason why he is in third place in La Liga when it comes to the amount of passes he makes into the final third. And what's funny is that the players that are above Frenkie de Jong when it comes to passes into the final third, it is Cruz and Parejo. Like, Cruz is number one, but look what happened when Frenkie and Cruz went up against each other. Who do you think was the better performer? It was Frenkie. Why? That is because there is more unity in FC Barcelona. So Barcelona always wins in the end, individually and collectively, when they are performing as an actual team and they have an identity. And that is something that I praise when it comes to Xavi's work. And so now lastly, I want to just quickly talk about Lionel Messi and his future. And it says here that Messi moving to the MLS at this stage is unlikely, as he wants to stay in Europe and prepare for the 2024 Copa America. And let me tell you, this is exactly what I told you guys like a few months ago. I was like, Messi is not going to be going to the MLS. He's not going to be going to Saudi Arabia, because, you know, he wants to compete for the Copa America next year. He wants to be there, and the only way he could perform at that Copa America, which is going to be like 17 to 18 months away, he still needs to be in European football to perform at a high level at that Copa America. So he is not interested in going to the MLS or Saudi Arabia yet. Maybe he could go in the future, but right now Messi's level is just too high, and he knows that. So Messi could either renew at PSG, which was something that we have heard before, because a few days ago it was reported that right now Messi's future is unknown. But the thing is that he did reach a agreement in principle with PSG when it comes to the first economic offer, but nothing really came into fruition. So yes, there is a chance that he could go to PSG or he could go to FC Barcelona, but I have no idea if Messi and the father are interested in getting the biggest contract in terms of the money, because if that's going to be the case, I have no idea what Barcelona is going to be doing or reacting from there, or what decisions are going to be taking. But it's really going to come down to either PSG or FC Barcelona. And what makes me very nervous is that if you go look at Messi's Instagram, he did post a picture on Instagram that showed that he was having an interview at PSG. I don't know if they're filming to make a video about how Messi is happy at PSG and that he's going to be renewing with PSG, and he's explaining to the media that he never wanted to leave. That makes me nervous, because that is what players usually do when they say that I'm going to continue at this club, is to record a video and then put it out there on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. And so we'll see. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.